But it's interesting he made such a big issue of Angela Merkel's weekend speech when, she talked about the developing relationship, for the better or worse, between Europe and the United States.
That's absolutely correct. I personally was surprised he made such a big deal out of it. It is a big deal for Europe and potentially for the U.S. It's not clear how much of a deal it is for Deutsche Bank, but clearly the speech has had an impact on John Cryan, the CEO, and it's clear he's making he's thinking a lot about the speech, and I'm pretty sure he's thinking about the response of the bank to the speech.
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting speech by Cryan. He talked about lots of things, didn't he, Stephen? The ECB, Italian banks, Asia. What were the highlights?
Well, certainly the comment on Merkel's speech and the turn away potentially of Europe from the U.S. to the East. He also said the French elections were a good thing, the outcome. It showed populism is not making headways as much as people thought just a few months ago, in Europe. He also talked about new Basel rules. He said he was surprised, maybe not surprised, but he's looking now at Basel reforms, capital rules that he thinks will come into effect. Yes. And those were the highlights from the speech.
But Stephen, he must have been licking his lips when Chancellor Merkel spoke like that, right? Because Deutsche Bank is based in Frankfurt, which is one of the places where banks would consider going, except for perhaps it may not be as exciting as some other cities. Now, if there's more pressure, if the German Chancellor is talking about Europe coming together, if, regulators are moving, then, Frankfurt could be a hub for Europe's banking rather than some other city. Is that possibly why he's so excited?
I don't know. I think what he was trying to do in New York, he was pitching basically Europe as an investment to the investor community in New York, and he was saying, look, Europe is looking actually pretty good. He said it's looking better than the U.S. as an investment opportunity. In terms of Brexit, that will have ramifications on Deutsche Bank, certainly, but I think actually John Cryan is concerned it could have negative implications. He said he wasn't sure euro clearing, if it was moved from London to Frankfurt or the euro area for that matter, would be a good thing necessarily. It would benefit New York, but not necessarily the euro area.
Talk to us about Commerzbank and its luring sort of early retirees into existence, 3,000 of them apparently.
Yeah, so it's a significant first step. Last year, the CEO said he wants to reduce the workforce by 9,600 people on a gross basis over the next 4 years. They haven't really made much headway in that respect yet. So actually sending out those letters and saying we're offering you guys to go is a significant first step. And I've heard from people inside the bank that they're like workers, like the offer. So it's likely, my opinion is, it's likely to get a good take-up, and we'll see at the end of the second quarter, how much it really will have been and how it's impacting the bank. So it will be an interesting development for Commerzbank, certainly.